Now hello and welcome to my channel. Today I just wanted to do a quick little settings video for Aion Classic so you all are ready to jump in as soon as Aion Classic releases in EU. Now, as you see, new character, entire new settings, let's jump in. Now, first of all, for the sound settings first. This is mostly to your interpretation, to your liking, but what I can advise you is to mute the pet sounds here, those two, and then play game audio in background. This is when you click out of the game, let's say on Discord, the music keeps playing, you know. This is very nice. You don't have these abrupt cuts every time you click out of the game. So this is something that you should turn on. Another thing that you can adjust is the voice, which is
Your target does not exist.
this, for example. You can change this voice too.
Your target does not exist. Your target does not exist.
Your target does not exist.
You have 4 different options, and then you can go into mail 2 and have another 4 options.
You have no target. Your target cannot be found.
Your target cannot be found.
Alright, that's basically it. That's all for sounds. Now let's go to graphics. Now the first thing you want to do, which is already set on my part, it will start in window or full screen, I don't remember anymore, but you want to put it on window full screen. You can also turn on vertical sync if you want to, and that's all you have to change here. Now we get into the interesting part, the game options. Now here, for the names, there is basically nothing to change. This is just your preference, but I usually leave them on. That's all fine. Status bar is also fine, you don't have to change anything here. And the first one we have to change is camera. Now, maximum camera distance. We want to put it on max. But first I show you what I mean. Now this, let me go forth here a bit. Okay, now this is as far as you can go back with the normal setting. You basically don't see anything around yourself, you're very close to the character. However, if you want to put it on max here and apply, oh, sorry, you can go back out this far and you basically see everything that's happening around you. This is very good for PvP, just to get a better overlook, you know. You can better oversee the entire battlefield. So I would definitely advise to do that. The rest on camera is fine, you don't need to do anything. Now, in terms of character, if you want to show the hat, let it as it is, but I usually hide it because most helmets are kinda ugly. So, there's that. Then, you probably want to decline viewing details. You can also decline duel requests and block mail from players below level 10. We'll do that. The rest is fine. I mean, these are all optional, you know. You can do them, but you don't have to. It's just preferences. Now, we go into the user interface. Here, I usually have on all of the quick bars. So, show extra quick bar 1, 2, 3, floating quick bar 1, and floating quick bar 2. We apply those, and then I usually have them on like something like that. I know it goes over the minimap, but I will show you why that is in a second. So let me go through it slowly so I don't skip anything. Display self and group window. I do not like that, so I will put this away. I will explain why in a second. Then we disable click to move. We don't want that. We don't want to accidentally move around here when we click something. The rest is fine. Okay, now, two things. UI style. I usually use the HUD on the top side, which shows it like this. There you have the minimap on the top right here. So it isn't in the way of your quick bar. Also, you have your status bar right here, your HP and all. It's all up here on the top left. And on the top left is also where your group members will be. So if you display yourself in group window, what happens is you are already here on top, your status bar, right? And then below that will another window be with your name. You will be shown another time up here, and then it shows the other group members, right? But you don't need to see yourself twice. That's not necessary. So that's why I do declick this. You don't need to show yourself on the group window if you have it like this. Now, if you have the HUD on the bottom, you can do this because you were here and then you were here also, but I don't know. I just prefer it this way. One other thing you can change is the UI size. A lot of people make it very small. Let's say like this, which is fine. If you are experienced, you have more of an overview, you know, not a lot of stuff in the way. If you prefer that, that's absolutely fine. But let's leave it at this here. Chat also profanity filter if you want to keep it off or on, whatever you want. And the rest is already activated. The last thing you maybe want to change is disable auto approach to target. Now, if you want that, I don't know, I'm not sure. Some people use it, I do know that, but a lot of people do not use it. So I, for example, do not use it. I just leave it like this, because if I'm focused anyway. I don't care about the auto approach. And if I'm just, you know, lazily farming and grinding, this makes it much more enjoyable that you have the auto approach to the target. Now we get into the next part, which is fairly interesting. We go into key mapping. Now, if you press D, you turn right. If you press A, you turn left. You don't want that. Why? Because it's annoying, you can't move like that. So, we want to change this. Strafe left will be A, and strafe right will be D. So, now if I press D, I run right. If I press A, I run left. Usual stuff with these MMOs. That's just what we want. Now, another thing that I think is very comfortable, which is here, automatic forward. It is usually on numlock, but I personally put it on the click wheel, so on the mouse wheel. I think it's just more comfortable. And it just runs. And you can press right click and, you know, turn around the camera and he just keeps running. You can basically do this one-handed now, and that's it. Very nice, very easy. The rest here is fine. If you want the opposite angle back, because this was the mouse wheel before, you can take something else here. I don't know, I don't use it, I don't need it. Here in the combat section, there's only one thing I want to change, which is change weapon. It's on Shift plus C, but I want this one. Now, this one, it shows up a bit differently here. For me, it is the button above tab and left of the number 1. It is this one. See that? It's this one. This is what I usually change weapons with. This is all fine here. I don't use F1 to F6 here for targeting my own members. I do not. If you prefer that, you can keep that, but what I do with F1 to F8 actually is something different, and I will show you in a second. Now, these are all shortcuts which you can use but are not really necessary. not really necessary to change, let's say. Here we are on our quick bars. That's where we want to go. Now, what I'm doing is on the first floating quick bar, right here, which is this one, I do F1, F2, F3, F4, and then we leave 2 open and do F5, F6, F7, F8. Perfect. Now we have it like this. This is very comfortable for me. I like this. I have an overview. What I usually put in F1 to F8 are usually buffs or such. You know, the buffs that you use on yourself before battle. Not really that important buffs. Important buffs come at different keys, you know. And then what I also do here is, here we have removed on top for the moving keys Q and E. That means Q and E are open. So on the first floating bar number 11 I do Q, on the first floating bar 12 I do E. Perfect. Now you have complete control here. This is easy access. I usually put on Q shock remove, which is very nice, very quick, and yeah, that's basically it. Now the rest I would leave as it is. The rest is just perfectly fine. Yeah. Now I think that was it. So thank you for joining me. If I've forgotten something, please leave a comment. If you liked it, please leave a like or leave us up, because I will be doing more of these videos, and I will be making videos and streaming when Classic AU comes out. So I hope you join me, and hopefully see you on my next video. Until then, see ya.